Hello and welcome back to the Kerbal Space program. My name is WWEdeadman, but you already know that. And this is 0.90. As you see, we have new loading screens. And as you see, we have version 0.90, officially beta. To be very official, it's beta than ever, but well, puns. Anyway, to show you pretty much what is new, we're gonna start a new sandbox file, no career file here for a second. Of course, the difficulty options are still totally there, so you can have completely hardcore mode. We're just gonna start that in hardcore mode for right now. No, we won't call it default, we call it beta hype. Yeah, so this just came out. I definitely get to do some midnight recording for you. And as you see, we get a lot of in-game things, little boxes that tell us what we do. So yeah, that's pretty much everything we already know. Thanks. Although, for some reason, this is fully upgraded and this shouldn't be fully upgraded. Cause actually this what the fuck? Beta hype 2. Yeah. Okay, for some reason that automatically set me to a... Why? Why would you set me to a fucking fully upgraded thing? Game? Why is this fully upgraded? Why is this completely fully upgraded? Everything. I have no fucking clue. This should not be upgraded. This is a new save. This should not be upgraded. Yeah, for some reason it won't let me do the whole thing with the upgrades. What the fuck? If we were to just enter the sandbox mode, so I show you a bunch of other stuff that is new. Because for some reason, I mean, these should not be upgraded in career mode. These are actually upgradable now, or they should be. In any way, also, does the new stuff work here? Yes. Okay. At least we got that. Okay. So we have, of course, new parts, and the most prominent feature here, we've got new Mark III parts, which are freaking huge if you compare to the Mark II. Or actually, that's the Mark I, that's the Mark II. So these are essentially bigger than, or as big as the NASA SLS parts. This is bigger than a fucking Mark III. Mark I/II command pod. So, we now have a pretty nice new system of ordering here. We've got fuel tanks, which are all in here. Usual stuff, apart from the fact that we now have Mark III stuff. In completely ridiculously huge, if you want. That's 10,000 liquid fuel. Or we've got the LFO version of that, which has 4,500 liquid fuel and 5,500 oxidizer. Yeah. Then we've got, of course, monopropellant and everything like for the Mark II parts. We've got adapters that go to normal medium-sized parts or to 2.5 meter parts. Yeah, to Mark II parts, like that. Yeah, and every one of these adapters, of course, has fuel in them. Then we've got a single thing that's called engines. So we now have engines all the way in here. Every single one of them. This looks cool. Sorry. But you see, that's actually SLS size. Space Launch System. You can, of course, use like Space Launch System parts for a shuttle or something like that, but that's very inefficient, so we're not gonna do that. Yeah, if you compare this to like the really, really small probe parts, oh, come on. That's cute, isn't it? Also, what you can do is you can offset, which means I can just put this wherever the hell I want. I can put this in like this. I can put this a little bit more up. Of course, if I turn off angle snap, I can completely freely move it without any like limitations on where to put it. Can totally clip stuff in and leave it there and go back here. Of course, I can also get it back out, potentially. Then we have rotate gizmos, which means that we can just rotate stuff around itself, around that axis, and around that axis, and we can totally leave it in a position like this, for instance. So if we... No. We can totally turn this back to where it was. Yeah. Then we've got root, which means we can say we want this to be the new root part. And now if we pick it up here, we have this as the root part and can take this off. So we can reroute our rockets. So the thing is, select a set of 2 or more parts to attach. That's like this, and that... You just pretty much double click on what you want to be your root part. Essentially. At least that's what I'm getting off this. Yeah, any other new parts? Of course. We've got cargo base for the Mark III parts, which means also, of course, the Mark III, the SLS style decoupler would work here as a crew rescue system of sorts. If you go to utility here, you can go and add... Where are you? Hello. That's a passenger model, that's the cargo bay in medium, that's the cargo bay in small, and that's the cargo bay in obsessively huge. Of course, opens and closes like all other cargo bays. And as you see, you can easily fit something like the processing lab in here. Doesn't stick out. Works fine. Yeah, and of course you can use this to build a shuttle. That's a pretty easy, or at least an easier task in this version of the game, since you just add like back here a little thingy that has a fuel thing. Come on. Like this, liquid fuel fuselage. Or actually, I want the LFO version of that. Yeah. And then we add the engines. For instance, mainsail engines work pretty well for this. Thing is, you probably still need octagonal struts to actually do this perfectly. So, of course, the rotation here still works with W and so on and so forth. So, I'll make something like this happen and then put 2 mainsail engines on here. And then I'll offset them to be more in the center of this. And then I go ahead and, for instance, move them a little bit apart so this doesn't do much of that. And then we go ahead and rotate these to be angled. For instance, like this. And this, of course, is completely free as long as you don't have the angle snap on. When you turn angle snap on, see, you have snapping here. If you turn angle snap off, this is completely smooth. Also, yeah, and I go ahead and put like another one of these up here and put it inside and rotate it like this, and then maybe do a little bit more of offset and put it a little bit further down. And for these I put them more like this, actually probably a little bit further in too. And you have essentially the shuttle engines right here. Of course, the real shuttle had like some of these also on here. You can, of course, use them exactly like that. Makes it look a whole lot like the real shuttle. And then you put like some weird wings on. Of course, yeah. Hey. Totally didn't tell you that yet. You can totally sort by mass, cost, and size. And you can totally have filter by modules. So you wanna, for instance, have everything that has a command option. So command pods and pro bodies. Then you have control surfaces, for instance, or lifting surfaces. Everything that has a lifting surface attached to it, so to say. And then you can build like a really weird wing. Winglets. Give me a delta wing. And put them on here. And maybe instead of these we want canards, cause looks cool or something, I don't know. And then we put get back to, you can also filter by resource, so everything that uses electric charge, air intake, or liquid fuel, or something like that. Filter by manufacturer, so if you want all the Rockamax parts, for instance. Filter by tech tree, so tech tier 128. And of course you can have your sub-assemblies, and you can add your own category. So if you want to have a favorites category, you can totally add that. I'm gonna keep to this for now. What I want is utility. Where's utility there? Small gear bay. We don't, unfortunately, have any new gear bays, so we still have to use the old gear bay, which is kind of sad, to be honest, but yeah. There we go. Make that go like this. Disable brakes, unlock steering. And the same for you. Okay. And then we put some more on. Stop that. How about the angle snap? Actually, you can still use your usual rotations, by the way, just in case you were wondering. Yeah, this is not going to land on this, but I really don't care. We're gonna start these retracted because we're actually going to launch this shuttle style. Put like a docking port up here or something. And then build a rocket for that. How are you gonna do that? In mirror mode, that's gonna be hard, isn't it? Yeah, well, press R and go to symmetry mode. To normal symmetry mode that you know from the VAB. Because you can totally load VAB and SPH stuff in the same building. That's of course stuff that I built for other stuff and stuff that I downloaded from someone else. I don't actually know what else there is in there. Then I want, for instance, this decoupler. And of course I want that to be only one. Put that here. Put some fuel tanks on there. NASA fuel tanks. Thank you. Now, let's say I want this to be attached down here. That wasn't possible up till now. Now you can go to offset and just move it up. And that's completely and entirely possible. It should function, essentially. These should all fire, then... yeah, next new feature. You're never gonna search for stuff that you wanna highlight again. It's gonna glow through everything. Of course, I want these and this one to be down here as well. That one's probably well supported up there. Then we want a fuel line from here to here, and we want some struts get off the ground, but we're just gonna try to launch it anyway. Gonna do this, 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 and just to have a little bit of control over this, we're gonna add some vernier engines and actually make this go like around the ship. Without a problem, by the way. Good. And then let's try to launch this thing by calling it a shuttle. Save. And then we're actually gonna go over to the VAB and load it there so I can actually take off from the launch pad instead of the runway. I still don't know what's up with the thing loading on in the wrong kind of way on the career mode. I'm sorry about that. I wanted to actually show you the tier 1 space center. Turns out I can't. SPH shuttle load. Okay, and then we go ahead, click here. Oh, really? And rotate it this way, just because. and then we're gonna put our pilots in there. Yep, and that's the next thing. We've got Jebediah, who is a pilot, which is pretty fucking important to have. We have pilots, we have engineers, and we have scientists. Pilots actually give you now the functionality of SAS. These old SAS wheels don't actually do anything anymore, but actually they are just like torque wheels that add extra torque to your stuff. They're just reaction wheels. They're not SAS units. Okay, now that that is clear, we're going to launch this. I am pretty sure that this is going to collapse and flip out and do not do anything that it actually should do. Also, I totally forgot to put like a tail fin on here, so this has actually no sideways stabilization. So this is actually the best way to do this. So SAS on, and then we have prograde, retrograde, normal, anti-normal, radial, and anti-radial to hold. Also, Jebediah could hold at target and at maneuver node, but we don't actually have that. So I just want him to hold prograde once we get off, so boom. Yeah, this is not a shuttle launch. Boom. Oops, I just wrecked something. Oops, I'm inside. Ooh, I'm inside the VAB. Our cargo base survived. Okay. And that's why you should try getting a shuttle actually balanced out before doing something like that. Now, we destroyed something here, so hey. I don't actually know whether this is now considered still fully functional, everything here. Or if this... I think that's just gonna repair itself in the... Yeah, we blew up those tanks here. Yeah, that's just gonna do it by itself, I guess. I'm sorry. In career mode, of course, you can still destroy your space center and have a shit ton of money to pay. Yeah, Kerbal still looks the same. Next thing that we have. We had biomes on Minmus and Moon. But let's look at Duna. Alt F12. Biomes map visible. Oh god, we've got biomes on Duna. We've got biomes on Ike. We've got biomes on Drez. We've got biomes not on Jewel because we don't actually have anything to land on there. We've got biomes on Lathe. Lathe's biomes, which is mostly Lathe's oceans. We've got Val, who has a lot of nice biomes too. And we've got Tylo. Pretty cool. We've got Bob, who has also got 3 different at least. 3 to 4. Pole has a bunch of different biomes too. Elu has different biomes. And of course the sun does not have any because you can't land there. But Mohod has biomes. Eve has biomes. And of course also Gilly has 3 different biomes. Back to Kerbal, who of course still has the same biomes that it always had. Including stuff like the Badlands over here. Yeah. And of course KSC has its own biomes, but yeah. Turn the biome map back off. I like that we have that so we can actually use that in game. I don't consider that cheating, so because I at least wanna know where I'm gonna land if I'm gonna land, because that's also gonna be a little bit more hard in the career mode we're going to do. Hello, Atlantis. In the career mode we're gonna do on this specific version of the game, because we're going to do a career mode in hard mode. And we're not gonna be able to upgrade a lot of the times. So the early VAB and Launchpad have a very, very limited amount of parts and weight that you can use. I'm gonna again try to get a career mode going that actually does what it is supposed to do. I literally have no idea why it would not give me anything that I want. I'm gonna just override default. Not that that would be anything useful there. Yeah, it's again fully upgraded for some reason. Why? Why do I have a fully upgraded KSC? We were supposed to be able to upgrade this. Now, so the VAB usually has a parts limit. The first VAB has a 30 parts limit. You don't have custom action groups available from the start. The Launchpad usually has a max size and max vessel, a max weight limit. Of course, fully upgraded it doesn't. The Mission Control Center usually has a maximum active contracts limit. And also has a flight planner, kinda. Weird. Okay. We've got the same limits as here. We've got the astronaut complex, who's got a capacity limit from the start. You can't perform EVAs and plant flags from the start. You can only EVA on the surface, and you cannot take any surface samples. You can only do EVA reports, and only on the surface of Kerbal, not in space and not on other bodies. Unless you upgrade here. First upgrade is of course the EVA and planting flags upgrade. Then we've got the administration building, who's also actually limited in maximum active strategies. From the start that's only one. And we've of course got the research department, which also has the ability to upgrade the science limit, which is from the start on 100. You can't research nodes that spend more than 100 at the start. You cannot, the EVA surface sampling is researched here. Resource transfer, that's also, fuel pumping and stuff like that is not available from the start. And here you have from the start only the orbit lines of your own vessel and the planets and moons. But you don't get to use maneuver nodes, you don't get to use the targeting in the map, you don't get to use really anything, and you don't see any encounters and further trajectories after that encounter until you actually have the encounter. So, sphere of influence changes are not visible from the start. Next update, you get maneuver nodes and you see where you go, so to say. Patched conics are visible then. And the level 3 upgrade is tracking of non-owned objects, which are essentially asteroids. So this is essentially what you could upgrade here if this game would actually make me Do stuff. Hey, Gene. This is the Space Center. From here you can manage all aspects of your space program. Feel free to have a look around. Hold the right mouse button to move the camera up and down. Right click over a Space Center facility to view this stuff. And the rest is in the training section in the main menu. And if I say thanks, I've got it, I can go in here and unfortunately accept more contract. Hey! Active maximum 2. Did you just downgrade? Oh, bug! Yes! I have a non-fully functional thing and it tells me I have a fully functional thing. Great! Is that a 64-bit bug? I'm going to start up the normal version and see if that actually does anything for me. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are on the 32-bit version now. And we apparently have some issues. Let's see. If I start a new one, again, career or normal start, overwrite. And there we have the Tier 1 Space Center. There we go. This is the Tier 1. Not more, not less. This is Tier 1. And if you look here, I got that. We don't even... I mean, we have everything available here, but we don't have really a way to do anything if we go into space and launch a vessel. Also, astronaut complex. We only have 3. We don't get more. Okay, we could hire 2 more. Another scientist or another pilot. Hansel, hey! I know you from a German Let's Player called Mr. Fleck. He had him in as the main guy in a part of his series. Yeah. That's pretty much that. Also, we are now here in mission control, which is apparently set in some sort of bunker cellar, which, yeah. Where we can do the 2 contracts. We have, yeah, we had that already, and we can select one of the things here, for instance. Also, the research facility. We are limited to 100 science. We don't have any science. Of course, there's still the buy-in option that you can do. You don't have any saved vehicles, so you can't do that. Then we, of course, have the assembly building, but I already showed you the new gizmos. So we're just gonna go ahead... No. We're just gonna go ahead and put a bunch of these here. And just do explosive staging. Of course, our using a Kerbal that is capable of flying this is essential, since if you go ahead and go to crew, you don't have any action groups yet, and use a scientist or an engineer, well, you're gonna have a problem with SAS, because you're not gonna have SAS. The holding of the SAS is only available for pilots. Period. So we're gonna leave, for instance, Jab in there. Launch this thing. I hope they fixed the bug with the 64-bit version, because I definitely don't want to do mods on my on a 32-bit version, but that's nothing new. You already knew that. Do that too. Yeah, that still works. Highlighting is pretty awesome. That's the first launch pad. Looks pretty awesome too, in my opinion. And then we start. get the first contract, as always, once we reach a certain altitude. So, if you wouldn't have a pilot in here, but a scientist or something, you're gonna have to keep this straight yourself, essentially. You don't have the SAS at all. It's gonna tell you you don't have SAS. Also, if you use the Stay Putnik... Hello? There we go. If you use the Stay Putnik probe body, you're not gonna have a good time either, because the Stay Putnik actually does not have SAS either. So you need a new thing every time. Yeah. So essentially we can go back now. Thanks, Jab. We're a little bit hot. So, crew report is of course possible. Would bring you more if you actually were a scientist. And if I say you should EVA, he's probably not gonna do that. Yeah. Cannot disembark while off of current surface. Astronaut complex upgrade required. So, we just shot ourselves into space. Unfortunate, seeing as that would be another contract. That we couldn't take because we didn't have the required amount of science, or the required amount of you know, of capacity. Okay, we're gonna do this. And as per usual, the landing in the water is going to destroy the booster, most probably. And anything else this update brought, we're going to discover together in the Let's Play. As soon as the 64-bit issues are fixed so far that I can actually play this career mode on 64-bit, because I sure would like that. And yeah, all the mods are updated, of course, because hey, that actually worked. Recover. Yeah. So of course, the whole upgrade thing, the upgrades are pretty damn, yeah, experience gained, so you can level up your Kerbals to make them better pilots. As the higher up they get, the more of the actual like abilities they get. And the same for engineers who repair stuff, like repacking chutes and repairing tires, repairing landing gear, stuff like that. And the scientists give you more science, and I guess they do other stuff too. I have no clue. I don't actually have read into that. So if you want to see, the next upgrade here costs 140,000, for instance. So you gotta go a whole lot of time without maneuver nodes and without patched conics. So this makes this a whole lot more replayable and a whole lot cooler in general. I really love this update to death. I really would love if the 64-bit version would work, and I would love nothing more than to see you in the next episode of Kerbal Space Program. Till then, I'd say like and favorite if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and until next time, I'm WWEdeadman. Bye!